Hello substreamers and welcome back. Now let's be surgical about this and cut right to the chase. Our first story this week involves AI medical surgical robots that are learning to do new types of surgery simply by watching videos. For me, this is straight out of a sci-fi movie, but it's reality, and researchers from Johns Hopkins University and Stanford University have been working together to build a training model using video recordings of human-controlled robotic arms performing surgical tasks. Now, the robots learn to imitate actions from the video, and the scientists believe that this can reduce the need to program each individual robot, each individual movement, and everything basically that's required for a procedure. Now, I've got a little quote here. It says, "The robots learn to manipulate needles, tie knots, and suture wounds on their own. Moreover, the trained robots went beyond mere imitation, correcting their own slip-ups without being told. For example, picking up a dropped needle. But don't worry if you've got a surgery coming up, because these robots are not being tested on live humans yet. They're actually testing them on animal cadavers, which is kind of strange, but I suppose no harm, no foul. Now, I have a stat here that says in 2020, 876,000 robot-assisted surgeries were performed. Now, looking to the future, considering the technology and the research that's ongoing, it looks like it might be robot-led surgeries that will take place in the future, and that's kind of a good thing. They do have a key advantage, which is that they can reach places and perform tasks in the body that the nimbleness of the human hand simply cannot, and probably never will, and without tremors or wobbling. The slim incisions and precision of robotic arms means that they can spare patients from things like nerve damage or just accidental cuts and stuff like that. Now, right now, surgeon is always in charge, but we just don't know where this is going to go in the future. Now, I think this is a really interesting topic, and you might too, and you might actually think, what the hell's going on? No, I'd rather a human did it. I'd love to know your thoughts, so please scroll down to the comments. If you're still watching, scroll down to the comments, leave me your thoughts. Would you be okay with a team of robotic arms doing your entire surgery, like no humans involved? Because that's a future we're working towards. Anyway, let's move on to the next story. It's not just medical surgical robots who are getting a big tech upgrade. Dating apps are getting their own upgrade too, and it's all thanks to AI, which is great news for lonely people, dating addicts, lovers, playboys, romantics, fuckboys, basically anyone who uses, and let's not forget scammers, anyone who uses dating apps for whatever purpose, love, enjoyment, scams, or what else, will get to make use of newly launched AI features. In fact, some of them already are. So let me tell you about them. Apps like Tinder, Bumble, Match, Hinge, Badoo are all experiencing user decline and user fatigue. So it's hoped that introducing new AI features will not only boost active users, but help them get matches. In the UK alone, last year, Tinder and Hinge combined lost 750,000 subscribers. In the UK alone, that's 1.1% of the whole population. If you look at that as an adult population of single people, that's actually huge. That's like a large percentage of their user base. Now, I must pause here. Before I tell you what these AI features are, I must point out, glass is coming off. This is getting serious. Let me lean in a bit. Just a reminder. Dating apps are not incentivized to help you find your loved one. If you find your loved one, you will delete the app and stop paying for the membership. They do not want that to happen. They want money. The whole design is to keep you scrolling, ticking, swiping, whatever, to keep you playing. So they actively are incentivized not to match you with people who are suitable to you. So it's highly unlikely you will find good matches. And that is probably why user fatigue and user decline is prevalent. Just a reminder, let's go back to the story. Back to the AI features. These are some new features that will be launched in the Match.com group, which is some of the more popular dating apps. So an AI assistant will perform core dating tasks, such as selecting the photos it calculates will garner the most responses, and recommend what prompts and information to put in a bio. It also claims it will help a user choose the perfect partner. Bullshit. Sorry about that. Another AI tool will reportedly conduct a spoken interview with the user to establish what they want to get out of their dating experience, and will suggest what messages to send to people they are matched with based on interests. The point of this is coaching people who are struggling on the app. Basically, people who are not getting matches, not performing very well, who are, they're recurring users, they're long-term users, but they're just not doing very well. They want to help them. They want to improve their chances and give them tips and basically give them more attention. Now, let me spin around, and give you another POV on this. So I've given you the AI POV, my POV about incentivization, and here is a third point of view. This is from Anastasia Babash. She's a PhD candidate and junior research fellow at the University of Tartu in Estonia, and a member of the International Ethical Dating Online Project. She believes that an increased reliance on AI in dating could be detrimental to people's ability to interact without it. Yes, Anastasia, you're onto something there. I'm going to read her quote before we move on because it's really interesting. Listen to this. I'm not going to do an Estonian accent because I don't know what it sounds like. There is a risk that users who rely on AI in their dating life may potentially experience more dependency on technology and a diminishing of their personal agency. If people start to rely on AI to handle their conversations with potential dates, there's a risk that it could result in losing the ability to engage in real, spontaneous conversations and ultimately make it harder for people to build genuine connections. Wow, what a quote. Well, she goes on to talk about also the immense amount of personal data that they handle on our behalves, and that we have to basically entrust them with it in order for them to help us find our match. It's all very bizarre. I'm very glad I don't use dating apps anymore. And if you understand that, you really understand. And if you're still using dating apps, good luck, because they are not really designed to help you. Get out in the real world. It's the best way. Anyway, let's move on to the next story. Okay, a quick, interesting story from India now. India is discussing and preparing to launch a program that would use facial recognition to identify deceased people and unidentified found persons. Why is this so interesting? Well, India has over 1.4 billion people. Keeping tabs on them, alive or dead, basically impossible. So their Union Home Minister Amit Shah believes that setting up a system that would alert investigation officers and help the investigation process for identifying dead bodies or missing people, things like that, would be really helpful. Now, there is precedent. India has done this before. There was a train derailment in 2023 that saw a lot of deceased people, very sad, and they used facial biometrics to identify people and so that they could alert the relatives. Now, let's put this into another context. Let's say channel migrant crossings between France and the UK, and also Mediterranean migrant crossings. I have data on Mediterranean ones in particular. 25,000 people have died in the past decade trying to cross the Mediterranean alone. Only 20% of them have ever been identified. That's because this technology has not been developed enough yet, but I believe it will. Anyway, let's move on to the next story. Goodness me, that was a bit heavy. Let's move on to a lighter story. Have you ever heard of Notch? He's called Marcus Persson. His nickname is Notch, and he's the guy who designed Minecraft. So literally the most successful game ever with 300 million copies sold. Notch is a bit of a legend in the gaming community, and he has 3.6 million followers on Twitter. Now, I'm going to put this tweet on screen. Let me stand to the side a bit, put it up here. It all started with this tweet. he asked those 3.6 million followers, should he continue building this like dungeon crawler game that he's been working on for a while, or should he just put it on hold and build Minecraft 2? Well, the votes were unanimous. People want Minecraft 2, and he basically said, yeah, sure, okay, I'm going to do it. I'm going to stop what I'm doing. I'm going to start building Minecraft 2. It might take a few years to come, but if you play Minecraft and love Minecraft, this is great news. Let's move on. Before I move on to the next story, I've not yet asked you to go down and subscribe, but if you have made it this far through the video, you love seeing me sweating it out on a rooftop or park or somewhere else, please do go down and subscribe. It really helps us. I see the numbers crawling up. So, new subscribers, thanks for coming. Those who are watching and not yet subscribed, why not? Why don't you like me? Come on, I'm not that bad, am I? Okay. Back to the news. Also, you can find the links to all of our sources in the video description below. We try to be good journalists and transparent. Let's move on. A quantum state of light has been successfully teleported through more than 30 kilometers, that's 18 miles, of fiber optic cable amid a torrent of internet traffic, a feat of engineering once considered impossible. I read that first paragraph of the article and I was a little bit confused. This is quite technical. I do recommend, if you want to know more about this this news, which is a really big piece of tech news, go read it for yourself. Again, link is in the video description. I will give you a quote, but I just remind you, this is highly technical and you'll get more out of going and reading the article. But here is the quote, the one that confused me the most. It said, "Quantum teleportation has the ability to provide quantum connectivity securely between geographically distant nodes." Whatever that means, but yeah, I did read into it a bit more. It's very interesting. I think you will agree. Yeah, go read it. Let's move on. Hello there. It's time for our lighter note, our final story, and I'm quite happy to be reporting this one. If you've made it this far, thank you, because you're about to learn something remarkable from the world of science. This is our lighter note. Scientists have proved that pooping makes you smarter. Yes, giving a shit will improve your cognitive function. It's actually true. They've tested it. And this might be my favorite story that I've ever reported to you. So it's about two recent studies. One tested people before and after they pooped on different tests, like the Stroop test, which is where you, maybe it says red, but it's in blue font. Like that, so it's trying to trick you. And the proof was undeniable, yeah? Better cognitive function after a dump. Now, there was also a 2022 study that found that patients with early stage Parkinson's disease would exhibit mild cognitive impairment when constipated. So when they couldn't poop, their symptoms got worse, let's say. So they found there was a link between the rectum and the brain. Could there really be a link, or is this coincidence, or was something wrong with the testing? Well, scientists believe that your gut contains hundreds of millions of neurons and that the gut microbiome plays a big role in your mood. Now, hangry is a real thing. People get in a bad mood when they're hungry, right? But there's also neurological and mental health disorders that can relate to your stomach. I would love for you to go read more about this and leave me a comment below. My gut feeling is that you will like this story and this news. And I have a bonus for you if you've made it right to the end. I've added an additional link, and it's to the history of the considered link between the brain and the gut, which is hundreds of years old. It's like 500 years old. They believe early scientists felt that there was a link here, that the stomach and brain were connected and had an interesting relationship. So I've got the whole history of that, which I found in, it's a remarkable article, one I really think you'll enjoy reading. Guys, this is Substream News. I'm Joseph, your presenter. I just want to say a massive thanks. I hope you're enjoying your start to the year as much as I am. And now I'm going to go back to work. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye for now.